Welcome to our Understanding While Loops in Programming Grade 10 by Big Ben's Matakanye. Now we're going to be learning about understanding while loops in programming, which specifically we're going to be learning more in Delphi. So please put your pen and a paper where you can see them so that we'll be able to understand whatever that we are going through and how we're going to do it and how simple we can make it. Now, this is our introduction on the while loops and everything else that we'll be doing in this PowerPoint presentation. And first of all, in our first slide, we welcomed all learners. And going through, we're going to be talking about today's topic, which is repeating task until using while loops. And the link prior to lesson if and Boolean logic and the brief overview of why loops are important in real-world software. So if there is anything you wouldn't understand, this is your roadmap on how to understand and know how we are going to go through this whole while loop session. Now, going through the lesson aims, which is the smart outcomes, the outcomes of this whole topic about while loops, is only 5 steps of the lesson aims. Is first, understand the structure of a while loop. Second is identifying the correct loop conditions. Third is writing a while loop code in pseudocode. And fourth is to predict loop outcome. Number 5 is to solve real-life problems while using while loops. So this is our structure and our lesson aims for this whole while loop episode. So referring back to everything else that you would need to do is just going through this whole thing and making sure that you check it on how whether or not the step that you are on is something that you have done and you have done it correctly. Now we have our key concepts here, and the first one is what is a loop, types of loops, our focus for today, and the syntax structure. Now you're gonna be asking about what is a loop, whereby we will try to explain a loop is a programming structure that repeats a set of instructions until a certain condition is met for a specific number of times. And loops help to automate repetitive tasks and saving time and more like saving efforts. And there are different types of loops. The first one is for loop, while loop, and repeat until loop. And these are the 3 main types of loops commonly used in programming. And our focus today will be on the while loop. And then the syntax structure down there is whereby we see that this is a while loop. Starts at while the condition do begin, and then the statement inside, and then end. And if you can ask me what a while loop is and how it goes, it repeats as long as the condition is true. So for example, if the condition is being met and it's just true, the loop will always continue on and on and on and on. The only thing that will prevent it from going forward to being looped, to being checking if the condition is true, is finding that the condition is now false. And the condition is checked before the loop runs. For example, you can say while I loop is equals to or less than 5, write begin, or you can say hello, show a message that says hello. And you can say that the I loop is equals to I loop plus 1. And if the loop reaches 5, then it's gonna stop, and then the loop will stop moving from that point until it gives you a back message that says the loop now is complete. Now this is a visual explanation of the while loop. We have a flowchart diagram of a while loop, and the condition is being tested before each loop, and may execute 0 or more times until the condition is met that this is true. Now if you can ask me about the flowchart, you can say that you have the structure of this while loop and you have the condition of this while loop, and you have an execution time, how many times it should execute until it reaches the point whereby it is false. So if it's true, even if it executes 100,000 times, it's still true. It will not stop until it finds the time whereby the condition is now false. Now the flowchart or diagram of a while loop is that it starts, and then we write the condition of the loop. We write the structure of the loop first, and then we write the condition of the loop. And the condition of the loop will either give us a false ending or a true ending, whereby the condition is only going to come back. The condition is going. The loop is only going to come back to the condition if the condition is still true. And if the statement is still true, it comes back again until the statement is false. Then it's gonna go and re-execute again to stop the code. Now this one is the condition tested before each loop. Now the while loop starts, and then the test condition is either false or true. If the condition is true, the loop still execute inside the body, and then it's gonna go back again, starts again, and then test if this condition is true. If the condition is false, then the while loop ends. Now how it executes 0 or more times is that in the while loop we write the structure while and then the condition. Now the condition is executed when the loop is executed when the condition is true, and then it's gonna go back again and check the condition again. If the condition is still true, it's gonna go back again and try to do that loop again and again and again, no matter how many times it does, for as long as the condition is not false. But if the condition is false, the execution after a while loop is gonna stop, and then it's gonna end the loop execution. Therefore we stop there, and then we're gonna get to the final results after the loop has been done. This is a Delphi example which an output is 1 to 5, and it emphasizes condition check and update. This is the code. We say that var, the x, where you can write x or you can write while, I loop, you can say I loop equals to 1, and while I loop is equals to or less than 5, do this, write inside the output component the value and the number, and I loop is equals to I loop plus 1, meaning that it starts from that value which is 1 until it reaches 5, then the loop will stop execution. Okay, now this is your class activity, which has an interaction. All I need from you is just to execute this code and give me the output of everything else that this code will provide, and then you will reverse that output by writing in the code, just blind writing the code. So this is your class activity. Please get on with it. Now if you're done with the activity, you can go through to Kahoot, which we have a quiz there, and you're going to be writing the quiz which tests your knowledge with a short quiz, Kahoot quiz, which the link will be in your Word document. And for now, until tomorrow, we can say that you will be able to understand that this is how to do while loops, and I will explain furthermore, as this is much more of an introduction than its own deep lesson.